Welcome back to this other episode on Cynthia Kimola podcast and also on my YouTube channel. So today we're going to delve into the work experience, which is also a requirement for the Chevening Scholarship. You must have met 2,800 hours. And I'm getting a lot of DMs and inquiries asking me, okay, Cynthia, so what are the types of work experience that are eligible for Chevening Scholarship? And it includes full-time employment, part-time employment, voluntary work, paid or unpaid internship. And here they say that work experience can be completed before, during, or after graduating from your undergraduate studies. However, any mandatory employment that counted towards your undergraduate or postgraduate course will not be eligible. So for example, if you had to do work experience in order for you to graduate, then that will not be counted there. But if you did other internships just because you were interested in learning from the industry, then that is something that you can include. And also, you do not need to meet the work experience requirement in one period of employment. So applicants can submit up to 10 different employment periods in order to meet that requirement. So if you held maybe more than 5 or 10 positions, then please go ahead and enter those periods which make up the greatest number of hours that you worked. And also, if you're currently employed right now, it's not a requirement for Chevening that you resign from that position. What you can do is just have a conversation with your employer and tell them that, hey, I'm applying for the Chevening Scholarship. It's going to be 1 year. If I do get it, then I would, could you maybe hold a position for me? And if it's not possible, then maybe resigning will be the route for you, but Chevening is not responsible for that. So just try and have a conversation with your employer. So let's go to the crucial bit. How do I calculate work experience? So when you log into the portal, the entries will be calculated automatically by multiplying the number of weeks worked by the number of hours worked per week. So for this calculation, a working week is usually 35 to 60 hours, and a working year comprises of 40 to 50 weeks. So anything, this is crucial, anything that exceeds the upper limit for full-time employment will be deemed ineligible. All right. So the minimum number of hours an applicant must have before applying for the Chevening Scholarship is 2 years work experience, and this comes to 2,800 hours. That's the minimum. So if your hours, because you had many positions, it comes to above that, then that's fine. Also, if you have worked part-time, the minimum requirement will have been accumulated over a longer period. So for example, maybe you are just working 20 hours per week, then of course your hours will be more than the 2,800 minimum that is required there. So don't be afraid to include your internships, as you've been told, full-time positions, any part-time work that you've been able to do. So the other thing that you need to ensure is for the work experience that they consider to be eligible, you can work in any field. Maybe you trained to be an accountant, but you're doing some work as a communication development person. That's fine. And they accept work experience from any field. However, if your course choices are not related to your work experience, you'll need to explain why you are seeking to make this career change. And it's not like in that portal, what you're just doing is just to calculate the hours. But now I'm talking when you're going deep into the essays, you can say why you want to change your career into something else. And then the good thing is you don't have to physically prove your work experience. You don't need to give pay slips, a certificate, a letter. Chevening doesn't need that kind of documentation. However, if your application moves on to the interview stage, you'll be asked maybe a series of questions about your work experience. So just try to be honest when you're putting in what you've worked for. And so you'll need maybe to explain a little bit about your employment information. Just depends on how the panel asks you. But just try to be of integrity and write down or indicate the work experience that you've actually done. So don't be afraid. I know I've gotten a lot of DMs and people messaging me on Facebook as well. They're a bit confused. They're asking, okay, Cynthia, how will they actually know that I've worked there? They don't need physical proof, as I've mentioned, but just try to be of integrity And if you've just left uni and you've just started working right now and you find that your hours are not adding up, try and remember, maybe there are some internships that you did, volunteer work that you did. You can also include it in the whole calculation so that you can actually meet the minimum requirement of 2,800 hours. So I hope this has been helpful, and you'll be able now to approach the Chevening Scholarship with confidence. And I'm glad to have helped. Please share this video and share it with others who might also find it beneficial.